Was his penis shredding these condoms? Was it my vagina? What is going on? There were certainly more questions than there were answers, but luckily I had an ace team of detectives, my girlfriends, on the case. They looked at this mystery from every angle. See, the summer after I graduated from college, I was living in Madison, Wisconsin, and I was sleeping with a local rapper named Raw Fury. Raw Fury was not his stage name. Raw Fury was his God-given name. And Raw was everything you would expect a man whose name Raw Fury to be. That summer, he introduced me to really cool hip-hop artists like Mos Def and Kid Cudi. He was a bartender who bought me my beers and my late-night pizza. I was smitten, and everything was really easy, except for this one minor, shall we call it, tear in the relationship. Now, the first time it happened, I didn't think much of it. I mean, I had never dealt with torn condoms before, but I figured this was bound to happen at least one time. Ra, in his charmingly dismissive way, made light of the situation. Well, I guess those regular-sized condoms just aren't gonna cut it. Mildly amused, I told him I understood the joke, took some Plan B, and made a mental note to stock up on some Magnum-sized condoms. But then it happened again, and again. And now it wasn't happening every time we were having sex, but when it was, these condoms weren't just tearing slightly. No, they were exploding inside of my body. One time, I woke up to find shreds of latex in my underwear. It got so bad that my girlfriends, who knew the situation well, started referring to Raw as the condom shredder because the name Raw Fury did not provide for enough entertainment. Luckily, thanks in large part to the Planned Parenthood down the block, I had access to other forms of birth control. A really gracious nurse practitioner there even once brought out a wooden penis to demonstrate proper condom technique, but nothing seemed to work. Literally every time I thought I had the situation under control, another condom would bite the dust. And anybody who deals with semen knows that if you don't have condoms as an option, it's kind of a bummer. But for me, it was more than a bummer. I wasn't on the pill or anything because I had made the decision that I didn't want hormones to regulate my body, which is ironic given how many morning after pills I was taking. But if you've ever been 22 with a uterus, you know that not being able to rely on your birth control is some real scary shit. Luckily, my girlfriends knew this all too well, and they made it their mission to solve this ridiculous mystery that was happening to me. What kind of condoms are you using? Are you using lube? What kind of lube? What exactly is he doing to you? All of these were very legitimate questions, but unfortunately, none of the answers that I could provide really gave us any clue as to what in God's name was happening. Until one day in mid-July, when Maddie Mahon cracked the case. It was a beautiful day, and my friend Amy had invited both Maddie and I to go on her parents' boat. But when Amy came to pick me up that day, I was in pretty rough shape. About an hour earlier, I had taken my 5th dose of Plan B that summer. About a day or so before that, I had taken my 4th dose. In 48 hours, Raw Fury and I had busted 2 condoms. I was officially defeated. What was going on? My emotional sanity was in turmoil, my reproductive organs in absolute protest, and I kept thinking, millions of people use condoms, maybe even billions, every day successfully. What are we doing wrong? Why is the universe being so cruel to me? When I got into the car, Amy knew exactly what was wrong, and as soon as I got in, she said, "Oh no, Gene, did the shredder strike again? Tears welled up into my eyes, and I recounted everything. My friend Maddie was in the back seat listening intently. Just as I was done throwing my own self-pity party, she chirps in from the back and asks a different question, a decidedly off-topic question. Jeannie, did you and Ra go to Pizza D's last night? Pizza D's was our favorite late-night food joint. No, we went to Jimmy John's. Why? What did you eat at Jimmy John's? Did you have chips? Yeah, Maddie, we had chips. Why does it matter? Well, I read this sex column a few weeks back, and I kind of forgot about it until right now, and this woman was having a very similar problem to the one that you're experiencing. Really? What did the sex column say? Well, so she wrote in because her and her boyfriend were having sex throughout the week, but only on the weekends where the condoms were shredding, and so she thought this was really strange. Her and her boyfriend would go out, go drinking, get pizza, come home, bone, psh, condoms, done. And I was like, that is literally the story of my life. And she was like, exactly. Now, this is kind of gross, but the sex columnist explained that it could be these late-night pizza runs that were causing the issue. What? Well, you know how oil erodes condoms? The sex columnist basically explained that maybe this woman and her boyfriend were eating pizza and then jumping into bed pretty quickly, and the greasy pizza fingers was transferring oil onto the condom, and then the friction of the sex was exploding the condoms. Amy in the front seat burst into laughter. I sit stunned, retracing every single time that this had happened that summer. I mean, we absolutely went to Pizza D's earlier that week when it had happened, and that time before. Oh, God. And probably that time. Holy shit. There is a correlation here. There is a correlation between the times that Raw Fury and I were getting late-night food and when the condoms were failing. Now, I'm not one to claim correlation equals causation, but sometimes the evidence is haunting. Coming to this realization that this could be what was happening between Raw Fury and I made me laugh, cry, but also feel this sense of relief that I had not felt in a really long time, because it's hilarious and slightly repulsive. But at least it wasn't my vagina or Raw Fury's penis that were to blame. No, instead it was just our grubby little hands, which is why the very next week I made another appointment for Planned Parenthood to get an IUD, because I knew that I wasn't going to be giving up sex or greasy food for a long time.